Hey, I'm going to show you guys how to drain the fuel out of a 2014 Chevy Cruze Diesel 2.0 liter engine. I looked at YouTube and couldn't find any good videos on how to do this specific to the car, so I'm going to do this really quick with you guys, see how fast I can knock this thing out. All right, you open up the hood, and you really want to drain the fuel from the front of the car if you have any contaminants in the gas tank. I think you can drain it also through the fuel filter, which is, on the back side of the car back there on the passenger side. But what you want to do is you want to find your relay fuse, because that's what's going to give you power to your fuel pump. So to remove your cover here, you squeeze these little pins like that. Turn this thing over. On the bottom of it is a diagram, and it will tell you with your owner's manual which relay goes to your fuel pump. I already looked it up, and I know it is relay number 8. And according to this diagram, you come all the way down in here, and you can see that relay number 8 is, getting this right there. So really this pump cover, if you want it to be lined up with your relays, that's how it looks. We found relay number 8 right there between these two large ones. So now we come over here, we find the two large ones. This one's number 8. Something you want to pay attention to is which direction the relay is going into. So I'm standing at the front of the car looking down on the relay, and I can read it. So this is going to be my relay. We're going to pull this out. When I put it back in, it's going to go as if I can read it. It can't go in this way because you have flat dials, but it could go in upside down. You don't want to do that. So the next thing you want to do is how to find out which one is the hot wire, so you can jump these things. All these relays are the same. On the side, see if I can get this thing in the light here where we can see it. That's a pretty good shot. So this relay, you can see that there is one line that is open, and it looks like it's a little door, and it's the one that's closer to my index finger on this side. And that is the relay that we want to close, which will give it power. So in this case, it's going to be, I believe, 87 to 30. So you have to identify 87 and 30 pin. So the way to do that is you look on the bottom of these things, and each one of these things shows what number it is. And you probably can't see it. Well, there you can see a little bit. It's upside down. So in this case, you can see 87 is right next to my thumb, and 30 is the pin up here in the corner. So thumb and index finger, flip it over, and it's the one on this side, the 8 and the 4. They're actually, the 8 up here on that corner and this side. Those are the two that you want to put a jumper wire to, because that will activate the fuel pump so that you can pump the fuel out. So once we know that, put that up there. You want to find yourself a little jumper weight wire. You can use a paper clip. In this case, I just took a piece of copper wire, and I actually pounded the ends a little bit flat so they'll fit in there better. You can see right in here. And so we said that, hey, we're going to go into the corner one. Let's go ahead and bend this thing out. We're going to go on the corner one right here. The key's off right now. And then we're going to go down into the other corner one right there. Okay. So now I've jumped the relay, but that's not going to turn on until I turn the key. There's no power to it until the key's on, so don't worry about that. You can get your jump relay in place. Next piece is where do you find the fuel from? So we take this cover off the top of the 2.0. You can see that you've got a high pressure fuel line right here. You can follow this thing back. There's a hard line here. It will come back, and there's actually a feed line that comes into right here. It's got the little blue clip on top. Get yourself a screwdriver, put it underneath this blue clip, pry the blue clip up, and then you have a quick disconnect, and this hose will wiggle and come right off. And here is where fuel is going to be coming into the engine, and it's going to spit from here out when you turn the fuel pump on. So we want to get ourselves a nice little hose. We're going to hook this thing up to there. And then I like to take a zip tie, put a zip tie around this thing. All right, there's a zip tie in place. This hose is clear. It's going to come down and go into a gas can. So that's how you set it up. That's where you identify the fuel to come out. So now how do you get it to work? You go ahead and turn the key on. Whenever you turn the key on for 3 seconds, it'll pressurize the fuel system. And by putting the relay in, it's going to keep the fuel pump running. It's not going to turn it off by the relay. So let's turn the key, 1, 2. Come back over here. And you can see you've got fuel pumping through. And you can just let it sit there and run, and it'll pump the fuel through. Because I'm colorblind, I like to put a little bit of red food coloring in my diesel fuel. That way I can see it better. So pretty simple. Just locate that fuel line. Then when you put this thing back on, it's pressure. Push the blue clip back in. Put it back together. Take your jump line out. Get your relay cable. You remember that it went in the way you could read it. Boom, you're good to go. Hope that helps everybody drain their fuel tanks on these diesels.